welcome to episode 39 of Anime and That's the Other. I'm TJ.
And I'm Shawn.
And this is the review show that reviews anime from A to Z. Sorta.
Alright, guys. This episode, Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn, known in Japan as Dragon Ball Z Resurrection Fusion, Goku and Vegeta, which isn't that bad comparing to the other titles.
And there's only 2 titles instead of 3.
Yeah, instead of like 5. One had like 4.
They were probably bored by this one too.
Released in Japan on March 4th, 2006. Or dubbed to English 2006, actually. 1995, March 4th, was the original release date. 52 minutes. That's it.
Okay. So, I told John off screen I fell asleep through half this movie, so...
So, essentially the plot is... first...
Premise.
Before premise, where does it take place in the Dragon Ball Z timeline? It takes place after Buu, but before Goku and Vegeta are resurrected. We know this because Goku even says during the fight to Jinembe, he wanted to go Super Saiyan 3, and he goes, you're the only one since Buu that's made me, that's pushed me this far, and Vegeta is still dead, and Goku is still dead.
But Goku was brought back to life before Buu was killed.
No, was he?
Yes.
He was, so this doesn't make any sense then.
And Goku was on Earth while Vegeta was dead.
Yes, but he also left while Vegeta was dead.
Did he?
But yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he came back after Buu. Like, it wasn't during the Buu saga.
Yeah, but Goku was brought to life before.
Well, technically it was at the very end of the Buu saga with Kid Buu and all that.
Right.
Because Supreme Kai or whatever gave Goku the rest of his life force. I just watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. But Vegeta was still dead at the very least. So actually, because what you just reminded me of Goku technically being alive at the end of the Buu saga, the movie doesn't make any sense placement-wise.
No. It never does.
But Goku's dead. There's another tournament in Underworld.
You know, when the movie started, I thought we were picking up right after the Otherworld tournament, the first one.
Yeah, it's what it felt like. Nope, it's a second tournament. Goku and Pikkon make it to the end.
It must be very boring in another world to just keep having tournament after tournament with the same people over and over again. What's the point? Goku and Pikkon, they're there every time.
Yeah, they're gonna win every time. So, the premise of the movie is they're in the Underworld, and one of the people that man the Underworld, that work in, like, the infrastructure, knocks into some shit, and I forget exactly what happened, but...
he was listening to music and wasn't paying attention from when the thing overloaded and overpowered. He's supposed to change the tank that filled all the way up.
Okay, that's what it is.
And he didn't do it.
It overfilled, and then, like, all these tanks start breaking and leaking, and the tanks are, like, spiritual energy or something?
Yeah.
Something like that?
They're excess of evil souls. The evil souls have to go through a scrubber to go down to hell.
Well, it's essentially all that energy pours into him, and he turns into the big bad guy. Jinembe, something like that. He turns into a big fat yellow guy, and then Goku fights him for a bit, and then he decides, I'm going to transform, turns into a red guy.
A red guy that looks...
Red guy with, like, bluish, grayish armor.
Look a little bit like Cell?
A little bit like Cell, and a little bit like Deborah mixed. Like, a weird mix of that would probably work.
Yeah, I was out of it.
But, I mean, there's really nothing else here. There's 1 or 2 funny moments. Essentially, the overarching plot is because the Underworld isn't working properly, it's all, like, frozen in this candy stuff, or stone stuff, I don't really know, that Jinembe sort of makes passively, that everyone that's dead is now spilling over to the real world, and they're coming over with their bodies. So, the comedy part...
Except for a few of them, who are, like, ghosts.
Yeah, whatever. But it's funny because Hitler is reborn with all of his soldiers.
Yeah.
And, so, like, Gohan, Trunks, Goten, they're kind of dealing with that. And there's really nothing for them to do. They wish the dragon, he can't fix it, so they go to fight the guys, but they can't kill him, so they can't stop them.
So all the bad guys are resurrected, essentially, from this.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Cell?
Well, Frieza actually is in it for a moment, but I can't remember where or when or why.
He showed up for a minute, and he sent, like, all of his minions at Gohan.
Oh, so that's what Gohan was doing when Trunks and Goten was fighting Hitler.
Yeah, so he took them out, but where's Cell?
Man, I don't know.
This was a perfect...
Where's Raditz?
I think he was...
Nappa?
I think all the minor guys under Frieza were in a big... When he sent them all at Gohan, they were all in there. Mm-hmm. But, it's like, this is an opportunity to bring back all your big bads, and it's like...
Yeah. And Gohan can kind of strut his stuff. Doesn't really happen. Well, the one funny moment was when Goten and Trunks were like, alright, let's show him some Super Saiyan. to scare him a little. And then Hitler is like, oh my god, blonde hair, blue eyes, and incredible strength. I should be recruiting them. That made me chuckle. But so the overarching plot is they're going to struggle against all the dead people and do absolutely nothing because you can't hurt them or kill them or anything. And then Goku is going to fight Janembe and eventually win.
So where's Germany in this world?
Who knows?
Or did he?
He could have been 2,000 years ago. You know, they could have been a long time ago.
This world could be way in the future.
Mm-hmm. So Goku goes to fight Janembe, powers up to Super Saiyan 3, forces Yellow Janembe to go to Red Janembe. They fight for a little while, but Goku's outclassed. And then Vegeta shows up.
This guy's got like multiple forms and stuff, and he's just a regular old demon who got transformed. How has he got so much?
Well, all the energy, all those capsules' energy went into him and powered him up.
I get that, but it's almost like he really knows how to use all this stuff.
Sure, but I was thinking that too, but at the same time, for instance, when Goku and Vegeta fuse, they just have these new powers. It's not like they trained to them, right? The same thing with Goten and Trunks.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I missed the entire fight when they were fused together.
So, this happens every time they fuse, not just in this movie, but whenever they fuse, like, oh, I have new abilities and new moves. I've never done them before, but they work, and they work really well. You know what I mean? Like that, and this time it was whatever that weird energy blast they did. I forget what it was.
No, I missed that.
It was sparkly and rainbowy.
I woke up just in time for Goku to put a handle, or Gogeta, or whatever it is, put a handle on the guy, and he vanishes.
So essentially the fight goes, Goku fights, goes Super Saiyan 3, Janembe transforms, Goku's outclassed, he gets beat down, Vegeta shows up, gives us a little speech. They're kind of spinning their wheels a bit, because they gotta fill time. And then Vegeta gets the shit kicked out of him. And then, very quickly, Goku teaches Vegeta how to do the fusion. And they fail the first time.
If this is supposed to be after Buu, they should already know the fusion.
Well, Vegeta shouldn't. Vegeta's dead. He was never around for that.
He came to fight Kid Buu.
Yeah, but he never watched the fusion happen.
He fused with Goku to fight Kid Buu. They got turned into...
Not with the dance. They used earrings.
You're right. Oh.
So, but they did it once, they f***ed it up, and then somehow they had enough time, did it again.
Goku ever see the dance?
Goku trained him. Goku was the one that was training everyone in it.
Okay.
He was training Goten and Trunks.
Okay.
It feels more like a Piccolo thing that was training, because Goku only showed them it a couple times, and then he left, yeah. Okay, Piccolo took him into the time chamber.
I gotcha. I remember. It's been a bit since I've seen the Buu stuff.
If I hadn't just seen it, I wouldn't remember myself.
Right. Oh, alright, and then it ends?
Yeah, well, yeah, then they fuse, and they fight, and they win super fast. And it's over.
And then all the dead people go back to other world, and
Vegeta disappears, and Vegeta's like gives him some smug remark, and Goku's like, "No, what do you say? Like, I loved every second of this. Like having you back." And he's like, "Bye, old friend," or whatever.
Oh, and we'll see you in Super or the next arc or whatever.
In like an episode or two when you get wished back. This was one of the worst ones, if you ask me.
I mean, I fell asleep and I didn't bother rewinding it. That's
I'd give it a 3 or a 4. It's below middle of the road.
I'm actually wondering when this aired, episode-wise.
That's a good question. I don't know. It had to have aired post-Buu. There's no way they could have aired it before Buu, because of Super Saiyan 3 and Vegeta being dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe it was in the middle of a break or something they took.
That's possible.
Like after Vegeta gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's possible. If you hear thunder in the background, it's because it's really lightning.
But I think that's kind of it, man. I think we just barely made 10 minutes.
I mean, I don't think any of these movies last past about 10 minutes.
Alright, that's fair. So, but yeah, I'm thinking a 3 or a 4. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I can't give it lower to the 3 or 4 because I didn't watch the whole movie. But I can't give it higher either, so yeah, I'm out of 3 or 4.
Alright. So, funny thing, we thought this was the last Z movie. Apparently there's one more.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like it's terrible.
What was the title of it?
Wrath of the Dragon.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. I don't think I've seen this one. Maybe, like, eventually when we watch it, I'll be like, oh, nostalgia kicks in, I remember this, but I don't remember this.
I don't know if we ever explained why we switched to Dragon Ball Z from Lupin.
We just got tired of Lupin.
Well, we did, but you also were trying to get us to...
Oh, to the Super movie.
Yes.
Because, like... So if you're going to watch Super, chronologically it makes sense to watch the first Super movie before you watch the Super episodes, because that's how it was released.
Right.
So, like, we don't need to start Super, we can just watch the first movie, and then you could be like, oh, I'm actually kind of interested in this. Okay. Maybe we should watch it at some point.
Yeah, because I haven't seen any of Super at all, so we'll see.
All right.
We stretch that out for another minute or so.
Next episode is R, or technically Q.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you chose an R, and then we have to choose another R.
I don't know if I said it on the podcast. I was thinking of a hentai, but I couldn't find any. I found plenty of hentais with a story, which is what we're aiming for, but I couldn't find any more that had dubbed. They were all subbed. You know,
I never thought of it like this, but why would they bother dubbing?
To sell. Well, so back in the day, it was so they could sell American DVDs. Well, you know what I mean? But nowadays, there's not much of a point. Why would you bother dub a hentai? That's not the point of a hentai. You know what I mean? Well, you want to hear English a little bit.
Sure, maybe, but you don't watch porn for the story.
Of course, but there is dialogue. The dialogue is there.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But it never occurred to me that, dubbing hentai is probably not a big
If you want to watch a sub, let me know.
I don't want to watch it at all, to be honest with you. The garbage.
That's fair. All right. Well, because I couldn't find them in dubbed, so I decided to go with another R. But that means we're doing R twice
I know.
in a row. So next episode, ReZero, starting life in another world.
Yes. Bye.
See you guys.